So I'm finding out this morning that one of the moderators, the lady that was up there, is actually Kamala's sorority sister. So you have the sorority sister, and then you have her best friend that is one of the execs. So now we know why there was a 3-on-1 debate. So we know that it was a biased debate. No questions asked. So you're celebrating for nothing, because she never did get to her policy. She never answered any questions. They never fact checked her on anything. I want to bring something else to your attention, because a lot of people are distorted in knowing what a real leader is. See, Trump is a real leader. A real leader is not perfect by any means. For my Christians out there, you know David in the Bible wasn't perfect. You know Paul wasn't perfect. Noah wasn't perfect. Solomon wasn't perfect. Abraham wasn't perfect. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. King Cyrus. None of those leaders were perfect, but nonetheless, they were leaders. See, a leader shows up. They don't hide from the people. She's saying that she's a part of the people. Then where were you for 3.5 years? You didn't show up. You didn't show up for the families that was in Afghanistan. You didn't show up. All you did was hid behind the keyboard all weekend and talk about the real leader that showed up. You didn't show up to the border. Trump went to the border, even though he wasn't president. He showed up to the border. And for all you black people out there, she didn't even show up to the NABJ. Trump showed up to the NABJ. You know, so the only leader that's perfect was Jesus Christ. But even back then, in his day, they would have called him an imperfect leader, because he didn't concede to their itching of ears and what they wanted to do. He wasn't all about optics. All he was about his father's business, standing on the truth. That's what Jesus was about. He's the only perfect leader. But you know, Satan, they manipulate you with flattery. That's what Satan does. He makes you, they polish themselves up to deceive you. See, Satan is the father of lies. Jesus is the conveyor of truth. And that's what we need during this time. It's time to rise up and speak out against the evil of the atrocities of this party. The manipulation, the gaslighting, it has to stop. And black people, y'all are sitting up here and y'all supporting this stuff. And this woman said that she wasn't doing nothing for black folks. She was locking up black men in jail left and right. And y'all still want to back her. So she's saying that it's time for a change. She is completely right. I 100% agree. It's time for a change, and it's time to get your administration, fire her administration, and move in Trump into the White House. Y'all, so it's time to put America first instead of having America last. So y'all, let's get out there. We stay prayed up. We need to pray during these rough times, and just keep your head on the swivel. And I'll check in with y'all later. All right.
Tick faster, that'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially, and this is the weekly wrap up. And we have to do the weekly wrap up news break edition. So that means that this is actually tape delayed. It is not live. We did go live, however, on Wednesday evening. And I did plan to go live initially, but actually had a family surprise, so going to be doing the family thing this evening, so had to make this video earlier, but I still wanted to put something together and weigh in on things briefly for this good weekly wrap up. So with that being said, family, if you could, please like and share this broadcast. Like and share this broadcast. If you're watching on X, come over to this YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to Beatzilla PDX official channel on YouTube. Once you do that, hit the notification bell, hit the word all, that way you'll be notified anytime a video goes live or a video is uploaded or premieres. And then also, if you would like to, you can also join this channel and become a member as well. With that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Of course, it's not live right now, so we can't greet the family. But with that being said, salute to the members and salute to all who are tuning in this evening. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on each and every one of you. And so with that being said, then at the end of this broadcast, because we did not get a chance Wednesday, we will be shouting out all of the members of the channel. So we will be doing the member roll call at the end of this broadcast. So with that being said, let's get right on into the aftermath of the Harris-Trump debate 2024. That's how things have happened. Things are unfolding. Come to find out that Lindsey Davis is, who was the moderator of the debate, is also a soror of Kamala Harris, which would be AKA, or I believe she's the Theta chapter of AKAs. And with that being said, some other things are kind of coming out. Things are, there's whistles in the wind that some questions may have been given. Some things may have been, in the Democrats might have been informed of how things were going to play out, as well as just seeing how people are now digging into the moderators, and come to find out this woman is not just an AKA, but she is also a Howard University alum. Go figure. And then add to that the woman who is her boss at ABC, is very good friends with, of course, Vice President Harris. To my knowledge, they say that she is responsible for how her and Doug even met. So when you put all that together and see how it was so one-sided, it all makes sense. I played the opening TikTok, and because it was so long, I just played that as an intro. And you see where things are. But there's been some other things that I know that, they're talking about the Haitian thing and the crisis there. Well, here's the one thing I also can't help but notice, that how the DNC and the live stream media keeps trying to use everything that Trump might mention that he actually is getting from the grassroots or the ground, and they'll start making it and twisting it about Trump. The reason they're doing that is to try to sour the point. And now, if you didn't think that that's what was going on, I'm glad that, maybe it's a good thing that Sister Nina Turner had to make such an early exit from the squad, because now she gets to just kind of live and walk in her own little truth. And I think that this, again, when I told you some of these things were happening as a means to get away from talking about Black folks, look at the response that Nina Turner gets on this. And again, fair use, everybody. This is just for the teaching purposes, and this is a political discussion. So fair use.
National debt. And before my Republican colleagues get too excited, I'm talking about the debt that is owed to descendants of enslaved people. Since Blackness is all the rage, this is a perfect time to talk about that debt. The interest is accruing over the centuries, and we need to deal with that as a country. We need to pay that debt to the descendants of enslaved people. There's a big conference happening on October the 3rd to bring all of the people together who really believe and feel like this country owes a debt
Scott got pretty excited for
I know, for a second.
Go ahead.
I'm interested in what you think about Kamala Harris going back on her support for reparations.
Oh, well, listen.
All right.
don't do it, Scott. Don't do it.
Because, you know, before she started running for president, I guess supposedly she was supportive of reparations, which we know. That was just the position. And we know she flip-flops because we know her standing position.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Yeah. And then there's that. Then there's that. So let me see, where do I actually need to start? And you see, I got Donna Brazile faded in like, oh, Auntie is looking down and looking happy with you. She's pleased. So I, mainly just want to hit a few topics tonight, but notice how Nina Turner kind of had them a little shook with that. And I'm kind of glad she did. And here's something else, that this is one of the issues I'm having with the whole Kamala Harris thing. Let me show y'all this. This is what she posted on her Twitter. Supposed to be on the screen. Oh, let me get that there for you. There we go. So Project 2025. And this is what is put up on her X page. Project 2025. Now, a dangerous and extremist plan for Trump's second term. They got it up here like it's a definition. It says Donald Trump's blueprint for a full government takeover by seizing power within the federal government and restricting freedom of Americans. Actually, it's funny. Why would he? I guess he would be taking a blueprint from the existing administration, since it's the existing administration with Biden and Harris who were taking Americans' freedoms away. People lost their jobs because they didn't want to get jabbed, which is a personal decision with a personal consequence. And you said it was heard this, and so that's moving in the masses. That's not a personal decision. You're telling me, oh, you need to do this or you won't be able to work. You can't come in here. You can't travel there. A lot of freedoms were taken away. Stay home. Stay 6 feet apart. Wear a mask. Only a certain number of people can come in here. There's a whole lot of freedoms that were taken away. It's funny how now we're saying one little thing that actually is not going to be a ban, because by striking down Roe v. Wade leaves it up to states. So then it actually legitimately took the entire argument and took it away from the Supreme Court. So the arguments that keep getting made are, well, some of them just are factually wrong, and then some are just blatant lies, which most are. Like this. Here's the first lie. Donald Trump's, that's plural, as if it's here, or not plural, but it's like ownership. It's Trump's blueprint. It's not. It's Heritage Foundation's. Blueprint for us, power. We did that. The plan calls for replacing government employees with politically appointed Trump loyalists, implementing a 50-state backdoor ban on baby deletion, and gutting Social Security and Medicare. This is what this woman literally posted, and he has literally responded to each and every one of those points, which have all proven to be false. But they keep allowing her to continue to do this, and I don't know why. We know it's not true. So to keep pushing something out there, now she's just becoming the lying VP. That's all she's doing is lying. I don't see how that's beneficial. I guess somebody does, but whatever. So
The ultimate debate is going to be election day. We all understand that. That's one. But two,
that's where the winning
I'm really channeling Tom Hanks here, his character in A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball.
Agreed. Yeah, I just said she had a strong performance.
She had an extraordinary performance, and President Donald J. Trump did not adapt. He still does think in his mind that he is running against President Biden.
Well, to be clear, he's running against the Biden-Harris ticket. All they did was take Biden off the future of the ticket. But this is still the same platform. There's nothing that's really changed. It's copy and paste. So he's running against the same bad policy. He's just running with a different face on the same bad policy, which is just incredible that people don't see it that way. I mean, now that's the unfortunate part. You talk about sheeple? Boy, I'll talk about a broadcast I did some years ago called The Harvest is Right. Maybe I have to do Harvest is Right Part 2. Who knows? This one be The People. But let's listen.
Vice President made it very clear you're not running against Joe Biden, but he did not adapt. He didn't change. He didn't have any vision. It was all, what is all wrong with America? He could have changed. He could have pivoted, but he didn't take the opportunity. Opportunity to pivot. I will say this. When I rewatched it, I will give you guys that some of the questions that they asked and came back at the president with was harsher. More than one thing can be true at the same time. But there is a house.
Now, when she says more harsh, here's the facts of the matter. They fact checked that man 5 times. And then also did not let him pivot away from the questions like they consistently let her do. In her opening speech, they didn't interrupt the fact that Trump's Project 2025 is a lie. That is an open lie. Also, that he's going to instill a nationwide abortion ban. That is also a lie. He wants to get rid of Medicare. He has repeatedly said, even he's quoted as of years ago, before she even ran, as saying he would never do that. Now he's flip-flop in some wording here and there, but you got to already understand that's what you get out of that guy. But to say that, yeah, he's going to do this and this is his plan, someone else's plan does not become this man's plan just because you repeat the same lie. What it does is it shoots you in the foot of having credibility with the people, because now all we know all of you DNC shills will do is open-face lie to the people as if your own people are that stupid to not understand what they see. Then that's how black people are being treated right now by the Democratic Party. This is not a good look, and it's not our fault. It's whoever is responsible for running this party. This is the party's fault. And then you come out and you run out, oh, we just did so great. She looks so great, and she really did this good. But here's the problem. They had to cheat. You have a stacked deck with a soror sister. The conflict of interest, that woman should have never been there. But it is what it is.
However, he did not.
Thank you for your honesty.
I'm curious.
Okay.
What did you think was harsh?
Yeah.
Harsher. I'm just honestly curious.
Well, the fact about her ethnicity question, I think that is why you keep bringing that up, pressing him on that Project 2025. Look, the man said he has nothing to do with it. We can debate whether he has something to do with it or not. They did on the fracking question to the vice president, and this is me as a liberator. She in 29.
Look at that woman's face on the left. All of the tethering. Notice I want you to understand the difference in energy. The difference in energy. And this this right here, just the frame on the screen, and fair use again, by the way, fair use, just to look and demonstrate why we say our culture matters. There's only one person on that screen right now that can really internalize what we feel. And you could see it in her face by what she's saying. And truth be told, understand why they don't be wanting foundational Black Americans in certain positions and on certain opportunities of speaking and holding the floor. Because if you understand, right here, what I played just a minute ago was her bringing up reparations. So they understand the connection to our ancestors is a powerful connection, and there's something bubbling up on the inside that will not let that go. And good, I say good. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to know that not everybody that has been voted in has sold out of that part that's in themselves that say, oh, I still have to speak up for my folks. So I'm glad to see it. And look at the energy just in this frame. Who as foundational Black American freedmen, the descendants of chattel slavery, who on that screen? Let me just make this big. So yeah, so it's just them two. Who on this screen is like, well, your mama and your grandma's always dreamed of seeing a Kamala. No. We can honestly say our grandmothers would have looked at all of this like this is a bunch of mess. And why are they doing all that lying? It don't take all that. See, the woman on the left, she ain't gonna have no clue on what we talking about. None. It don't take all that. Now you got the whole young boule class. They the old Negroes now. So they almost look like elders just because they all aged out. But they're not. They're just the young integrators. They like a, oh, Lord, I'm so happy. Ooh, you see, boy, I've been getting invited to all of these fancy dinners and all these fancy luncheons and meals. Boy, they like me. I tell you what. Look at all the pictures with these people. They let me take pictures with them and stuff. I mean, Lord, when white people like shit, it's a special thing. I'm telling you, that's how I see that particular ilk. Got to tell me I'm wrong. Let's hear some more for them though. Watch this sister. Go ahead, Roaster.
19, when she was running, she said, I'm done with, fracking. We're going to do away with it. You can't say you're going to do away with it. They had her dead to right on that. What you can say as a candidate that I'm not in 2019, I'm not in 2020. And you know what? I changed my mind.
I guess the reality of it is that she reversed herself in 2020. Like that.
No, she didn't. That's not accurate at all.
No, see, she didn't. And here's the problem. Stop repeating these lies. Well, see, she reversed herself. No, she said since then she didn't come out and verbally go against it. I stood by this position. I bet you did. The question was, why did your position change? And her position changed. That was the entire question. That was the point of the conversation. And the point of the conversation, again, is when her position changes just based on her ability to win whatever she's trying to win, that is not somebody with principle. That's an opportunist. And I mean, let's keep it a buck. Everybody talk about Nigerian scammers. Hello? Indian scams, anyone? I mean, and so the truth be told, the little Indian TikToker, he an Indian dude himself, talking about Kamala Harris is the biggest Indian scammer ever. People over in India are going to be cheering her because she's the most successful scammer from India. You got a whole bunch of old Negroes running around here calling this Caucasian woman black. This woman is a tan Caucasian married to a Caucasian, and y'all can't get it in your minds to save y'all lives that she ain't black. if her mother says her mother is on her birth certificate, her mother is listed as Caucasian. What race do you believe she is? Well, her mother is the Caucasian. So if her Indian mother raised her to be Caucasian, why then would she turn around? She was raising two little black girls. But you've seen how much she flip-flops, right? Oh, well, I want freedom. All of these things that couldn't possibly be true. Oh, we actually celebrated Kwanzaa when I was a little girl. I was listening to Tupac and Snoop in the 80s. I mean, these are things these are major cultural missteps. So, and then here it is. She's a flash black again. We've already established this woman wasn't black years ago. That's why most of us never referred to her as such. But here it is, convenient again. And she's flash black, microwave black. Add water and stir. I'm black again. Boy, let's hear some more. Boy, and look at this sister. Boy, ain't her jaws tight? Hold on. Let me make that bigger. Make that bigger. That woman's jaws a little on the tight side, ain't it? Like, ooh, how about talk this down? Ooh, because, we're still going to keep telling the lie of Project 2025. Nina, I really needed you not to do that. So let me fix this.
You know what? But it's a weak argument. No, it's not. It's
all
a lie.
I'm saying is that more than one thing is true.
Ooh, he said it's a weak argument. He said, no, it's a lie. That's what it is. That's a fact. And that is a fact. It is a lie.
At the same time,
I'm with Nina.
President Donald J. Trump lost the device and all that his followers are saying that did not happen. He lost. He was not prepared. He thought he was going to bulldoze his way in. He wouldn't even look at the vice president. He lost. But at the same time, I did analyze what the moderators were doing, and they did not treat him. That's very interesting.
Right. And the fact-checking thing was crazy. And they just overzealous with it. It's like, I don't respect none of that. I don't respect none of that. And another thing that really kind of gets on my nerves too is this you're black. Why aren't you going along with the Democrat thing? I don't, man, that's BS to me. And I really wish they stopped trying to keep bringing black men into this. Because who was that? Who was that on? Oh, Charlemagne. They did it to Charlemagne. Who was the other brother that on The View that they did that to? And he sidestepped it. Was that? Oh, that's Killer Mike. Killer Mike. That was Killer Mike. That's right. Sure enough was. They tried to pressure him into doing that silly madness. Right? Like, come on, man. We need you to step on in here and tap dance for Kamala. Why aren't you going to support her? Why not? Why not? So what you going to do? Remember Sonny was all up in Killer Mike's face? Well, why not just endorse it? Okay. The View done had Usher come in. They tried Usher. Let's take a listen to this.
In this emergency
emergency,
I think that the Who's artists should come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump because he is an existential threat to the country. What do you say to that?
You know what? I don't get too deep into politics. I didn't get a chance to watch the debate last night. I obviously have been watching like everybody else. I think voting is an individual choice. And I think that you're right. You have to look at the reality of the country that we are and the country that we want to be and find the candidate that you feel both are who fits the category of where we want to be. And that's it. And that's what you vote based off of, who you highlight and how you choose to highlight it on whatever platform you have is your prerogative.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's really,
Yeah. Yeah, Joy. That ain't what he there for. Just over there. See, and this is, and look how she tried to set it up too. See, that's another thing I don't like. I just don't like. They come over here and act like they are so entitled to our energy. Come on, Usher. Give this woman your energy. What's wrong with you? You're not being a good one. I mean, that's all I'm seeing. And when I see stuff like that, why do you keep pressuring these men to support this woman? There's something about her that they ain't jiving with. And they're doing you a solid by not even going into that. But on some of the things that some of us are saying why we don't rock with her, well, some things are evidently clear. And then we have a lot of these Democratic shills. One that Tiffy Tiff, she posted this little TikTok on her page. And again, I say y'all better watch these Democratic shills. They majority of them are tethers, or either on some other type of time. So there's a lot out here that you need to pay attention to. And this right here is one of the reasons why we say hashtag fire up the jet.
Kamala or Trump? Kamala or Trump?
Trump.
Kamala or Trump?
Kamala.
Kamala or Trump?
Kamala.
Kamala o Trump?
Kamala.
¿Vio el debate?
Claro que lo vi.
¿Y quién ganó?
Pues para mí ella.
¿Kamala o Trump?
Yo sería Trump.
Kamala or Trump?
Kamala. What Trump is doing is wrong, man.
So, are you scared of, immigrants eating you? Who do you think, won the debate yesterday?
Kamala.
¿Quién ganó el debate ayer?
Oh, bueno, para mí, yo pienso que Kamala Harris.
¿Quién ganó el debate?
Kamala.
¿Kamala? ¿Y por qué?
Porque el Trump era pura mentira, es puro truco nada más para ganar.
El otro señor está loco. Ella habla pura tontería.
Because all the money I get in this country, he wants to take it away and send me away. I come to this country illegally, and I make lots of money, lots of money. I work hard to get here. Fleeing my homeland to get here. But nonetheless, something else I wanted to do while playing these TikTok videos is I want to give some of these individuals an opportunity to be heard as well, who have posted TikToks. And just so to demonstrate on this broadcast that there are Black women, especially, also not rocking with Kamala Harris and looking at this debacle that they call the presidential debate, looking at all of this go down. And it is shame. That was shameful. That was absolutely shameful. And there should actually be an investigation on if there were questions leaked or things. Because like I said, I kept asking, how did Kamala Harris know that the mic was going to be hot? But anyway, let's hear from another TikToker.
This debate is so hard to watch when you are very clear on the fact that Kamala started it gaslighting Americans. She's been gaslighting Americans the entire time. She's picking the things that she knows you're scared of. You see, she's bringing up January 6th. She's not telling the whole story. She brings up the C word, the pandemic. She brings that up, knowing that's not his fault. He didn't start it. Matter of fact, I was in Europe the November before, and it was actually in Europe where I was at the time. It's really sad that Americans, I see my friends on TikTok on Facebook who are like, oh my God, she's cooking him. Oh my God, she's doing amazing. She's lying in her amazingness. And let me tell you, you guys are stupid enough to believe her. All you got to do is a little bit of fact checking, but no, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to automatically call him a lie because the media and them have helped you believe that he was a lie. You ain't going to fact check it. You ain't going to look. You're not going to look. You are literally just going to automatically believe him. But are you noticing that all she keeps leaning on is this is why I'm going to be better because I don't incite the things that he do and I'm bringing us together. Baby, that is not giving me whole policies. What are you going to do? What are you able to do? Because everything that you're able to do as a VP, which also means you hold the most important seat in the Senate, you can do as president. As a matter of fact, the truth is you got a little bit more power now with the seat in Senate you have. And you're not under the telescope, the light like the president is, and yet you're not doing anything. I just cannot believe this debate. It is so hard to watch.
And I agree. See, here's the thing: when people have consciousness and have a sense of morality, you cannot feed them a whole smorgasbord of lying and then spend the entire time while still lying, calling out the other individual for lying. That literally makes no sense. And in the midst of this interview, like I said, the David dude, he literally lied on Donald Trump in his question to Kamala Harris, because after he said, Donald Trump said, yes, I said it sarcastically. Then he went and gave his little piece because his response as a moderator was, oh, well, I couldn't tell any sarcasm. And then it immediately turns to Kamala Harris and says, Vice President Harris, he says he didn't say that. That's an open-faced lie right before the world. And all of this, while he's setting it up, he's giving a foundation for her to answer a question based off a lie about her opponent, to whom they kept aggressively fact-checking while not even stopping and saying, Vice President, Donald Trump is not actually the author of Project 2025. He has actually said that he was not going to do a nationwide abortion ban, things of the sort. But that didn't happen. Those are two that they could have easily stopped. And see, when she went into her diatribe about the lies that you were going to hear, number one, Trump's Project 2025. She started with calling him a liar, then immediately lied on him. This is the reason why people are having issues with Kamala Harris. We don't like liars because liars can be snitches. Snitches are thieves. And who the hell wants to vote in a thief? Oh, a thief that got there in her position that she did not get voted in to have? And now you want that? That is the ultimate theft. She undercut her boss. All around this woman, you see deception, lies, and theft, usurping, covetousness. I'm confused. You go to Willie Brown's situation on the covetousness part. I mean, shown to be an adulteress. Nothing matters to you people. There's no moral compass. And then this woman, out of all the women, is running on the Negro Project, pushing abortion on Black folks day in, day out. And y'all just calling it good. That's the Lord's way because the Bible said we need to love. That is not the first commandment. People be so, boy, they be lying on the Lord. It ain't funny. They have no shame. And I seen something the other day with this woman in her pink, lying on the Lord, lying on the Bible. This is what I believe. My pastor said it. She must go to Jamal Bryant Church. She go to one of them churches where they don't teach out the word. She go to to them the most things where you ain't really gonna hear nothing. They gonna make you feel good though, and then you gonna give some offering. And then she's like, oh, yeah, my family is responsible for foundation of the AME church. That may be so. And I found a lot of biblically illiterate individuals in the AME church. I mean, biblically illiterate. Not even C-spot run. Come on. But with that being said, want to give another sister a platform to over here to just, because so people can say, hey, man, people are making these videos. Nobody's paying them to do it. Like all of these paid shields. It's so funny when they say that too. Oh, man, Donald Trump must be paying y'all. Can't be paying us half as much as the DNC paying.
Here's the thing everyone seems to be forgetting about this Haitians eating cats and dogs thing. It's not about the dogs. It's not about the cats. It's not about the pets or the ducks or whether or not Trump said it right or wrong or what reports are rumors and what are true. It is about the fact that the United States government dumped 20,000 illegal Haitian migrants into a town of 60,000 poor people and expected them to deal with it. So now it's a crisis. So now some weird stuff is happening. Is it cats? Is it dogs? Or is it just ducks in the public park? If you're a liberal and that's your argument, I think you frigging lost the plot. If your argument is, well, it's not really pets, and that's where you stop, what's wrong with you? Why don't you believe these people? Why don't you want to help these people? Where is your compassion for these people? They're telling you we're in trouble here. The way we're dealing with this immigrant crisis is hurting everybody. Help us. And all you progressive liberals can say is, well, they're not eating pets. Get a grip. Get it together. This is America, and your fellow citizens are asking you for help, and you're trying to gaslight them because you're so freaking deranged about bad orange man that it literally blinds you to everything, every ounce of compassion for everyone around you, because all you can think about is a vote. You're pathetic. Shame on you. These people need help. They're asking to be heard. Hear them or get out of the way.
Very well said. Man, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And, you know, with that being said, Joy Reid and what's that big, the heavyset cat, they did their little piece right, you know, and something that they said in their clip, which is very interesting. They try to say that, oh, people are despicable. They're talking about Americans, by the way. And when I see people say stuff like this, like, do you see how you're talking about the American public? Because they don't rock with your political BS? Listen to this.
Also to do things, Ellie, that one would think are career-ending. The way he desecrated Arlington National Cemetery would be career-ending for a normal politician. His constant lies. But even this piece about saying, well, my building was the tallest until, you know, they brought down the World Trade Center. Now it's the second tall. I mean, everything he does is despicable.
The reason why it doesn't end his career is because his supporters are just as despicable. All right. Like Trump's whole thing, he's a narcissist, right? And so his whole thing is to have a complete lack of compassion and empathy for everybody else. It's all about him. That's why he lies about 9/11. It's all about him, me. He's probably the least compassionate president we've had in 200 years since Andrew Jackson.
Oh, compassionate. See, this is another thing with having a woman. They're trying to use the woman thing, like they be calling her Mamala. Number one, she's not a mom. She didn't have to ever raise anybody's children. She's only been auntie. And for some reason, people look at that, and then you just want to say because she's a woman, then she must automatically be a nurturer. This is a woman who preaches getting away from a natural commitment such as pregnancy. That's a natural commitment. When you're committing the act of creating life, you are creating that is a commitment. Believe it or not. But I mean, people tell you, oh, well, what about this person or what about that person? Okay, that's the question of a whore. And if you want to be honest about that, and if that's what you're doing, then that's what you're doing. But that's whoredom. Because you're getting away, and that just tells you where your mind is at. Because, I had a sister tell me that a lot of these women are hidden feminists. Because they'll do all of this talking about you shouldn't shame a woman about what she's wearing, or a woman should be shamed about what she's wearing. And this woman shouldn't be wearing this woman shouldn't be wearing that. But then when you start talking about body counts, then the energy shifts. And I said, wow, well, there's something to that. Because that's the when you start getting into that personal responsibility, I mean, think of what this is. We literally have the term fetus for a child. You calling your child a fetus. That's a heartbeat. Hands, feet, and that's a person. It's not a fetus. See, the thing for me is when you know better, just like how with the pandemic, this is why I'm very disappointed in a lot of folks. I can't believe how many people didn't know who they should and should not listen to. And this what the said. Okay, I'll let you go ahead right on ahead. And see how many people. Here's the other thing. All the folks of faith. You're going to pray every obstacle out of your way. Except for that thing during the pandemic. That one you needed Dr. Fauci to perform a miracle because all of a sudden Dr. Fauci became Jesus. Understand, this is all the people attached to the same party that think they gonna come tell black folks how stupid we are. Are you kidding me? You couldn't lead a trail of billy goats and sheep because you're the sheep. And the funny thing is, you're sheep who can talk. So you believe that, hey, y'all, how many of y'all family have had somebody in your comments talking about, y'all need to learn about civics. You too stupid to understand. I guess you just stupid. You don't have any sense. You don't have enough education. Gonna tell you how dumb you are. Now they have gotten to the point to where they're saying you're despicable. Who are they, Sylvester? Yeah, despicable. I mean, how you calling Americans despicable people? What the hell is wrong with this guy? Joy Reid has lost her mind. Along with that hair. I don't know. Let's hear a little more from this weirdo.
And it works for him because his supporters are just as ungenerous and have just as little compassion and empathy for others. So when he is seen out there.
All the people who support Trump have no empathy for others. What the hell is he talking about? So anybody that supports Donald Trump, and I ain't saying that all the people that support any candidate, you're not all going to be good people, but some people are talking about what resonates with them. All of this other BS about how, like, the hype and fluff of a wuss, which, you know, this is why the DNC is failing. You have no real men around there. Don't nobody care about what y'all talking about. All that emotional BS. Go sit up in the Lonely Hearts Club and cry together. But in the meantime, we need somebody who's going to be about that business, not hiding and thinking that you need a participation trophy because she a woman. No. We black folks. We always have to do above and beyond. Get her, if she's black, get her black ass up out here and show something. Don't sit up in there for 3 years, do nothing, and come around us talking about, hey, y'all, I'm black now. Let me have my collard greens. No. What you doing for black people? Right now would be the opportune time to be talking about reparations. All of these rallies, like Nina Turner even mentioned on CNN, and shout out to you for doing that. I appreciate that. Because again, making sure that everybody hears this is still a topic, although mainstream media is trying to help the DNC wash it away. I say let's not let them do that, and let's keep it in the forefront. You know what? I'll tell you, now that there's not going to be another debate, family, what I want y'all to start doing is in all of these posts in the future here dealing with our issues, start tagging those media networks. Because what we want to make sure that everyone understands, these issues aren't going away, and these issues will be directly tied to a loss if they go ignored. So as we start going further into this political season, make sure you start tagging these people within these posts, so the mainstream media will know, hey, this is an issue. This is a problem. This is what people are saying. So when you start hearing the DNC, they're going to have to start, well, we're getting conflicting information from the streets. You got dong right. You showed up right. Let me tell you. So there's something else that I need to get in here. Let me get that. Okay. This in here too. Because here's like something else that this administration says that they have already had something in place. But who knows? Because one thing they tell us is the Emmett Till lynching bill. Well, then I guess we need to turn our attentions to North Carolina. And with that being said, I'm sure you guys have seen this video that's going around and the news is starting to spread. This is moving in. This is a legitimate story. You know, at first when you start hearing things, it's like, is this real? But it is turning out to be, unfortunately, real. And at this time, I want to know what the hell this administration is going to do about this.
Before I make this video, I know that half of y'all that are coming to my page are looking for drama. I want you to boost this video just as much as you boosted them other ones. The police department in Henderson, North Carolina is trying to cover up a lynching. Javian McGee, 21 years old, from Chicago, Illinois, is a truck driver who was en route and working in North Carolina, Henderson, North Carolina, was found hanging from a tree. He did not put himself there, and they are trying to make us believe that he did. These people are trying to say that boy just randomly went to Walmart while he was working, got a rope, and decided just to hang himself. I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like some pure D bullshit. The coroner did not even want this boy's family to see his body. Black people have actively been hunted in this country since we've arrived here. They kept making excuses like, oh, well, you can't view the body because of COVID. No news outlets are covering this story. No media outlets are covering this story. So we, the people, need to cover this story. and bring as much attention to it as we possibly can. So I'm tagging his cousin below that came on here and told us about his story. Please watch her video. Please boost that video. Comment, like, share, repost. Lynching did not stop in the 1980s. Lynching is actively still going on to this day.
Most definitely is. This most definitely is. So let's make sure we stay on top of that as well. My goodness. You know, and that these are things that we need to see action on. Because you boast of an Emmett Till bill that you let Carolyn Bryant die a free woman. How does that make any kind of sense? And then tell black folks like you actually did something for us. No, the hell you did not. No, sir. So let's see. Where do I need to go now? Oh, okay. I want to go here because this started to get interesting with the with the Shield Squad.
Vice President Harris began the debate by punting the first question on the economy.
Do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
It went on from there. Despite the economy being the #1 issue facing the country, the sitting vice president generally reverted to talking points about a few of her policy proposals. Even Harris allies today are saying that she needs to talk more about what she will do for Americans if elected. Senator Bernie Sanders will be here in a second to talk about more.
Now, this is CNN saying this. If what she did the other night was so great, they would not be coming out here breaking bad on her like this. And so I'm not really surprised they are, because of course we knew that they were going to come out and lie heavy and say how good she did. But now the truth is coming out. And the fact is, just for what she was able to do, she still flim-flammed, word salad all over the place, and gave you no answers, non-answers. And it looks like she actually still cheated. So how great of a performance did she actually have?
Or about the need for her to fill in some of those blanks. On the border, another vulnerable issue for Harris, she also dodged.
Of course she did.
Would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings.
Okay, that wasn't the question. When asked how she would break through the Israel-Hamas war stalemate, Harris said this.
We need a ceasefire deal and we need the hostages out. And so we will continue to work around the clock on that.
Okay, but again, how? Vice.
See. I'm glad this is happening, because they needed to have long been proactive at fact checking a bona fide lie. She's already. They come out here and say everything she say is baseless. The baseless claim that Project 2025 is his. The baseless claim that he's going to have banning abortions, which, again, is not the issue for us. And I believe all of those things with him are being used. That's why she always diverts to Trump, because it gets her out of the conversation of talking about black issues. That's the only reason I think it's really being done. And then there's was it Jill Stein? And so Jill Stein and what's her face? Angela Rye. They were on the Breakfast Club. And see, so with Jill Stein or Cornell, one of the other DNC shills, they keep taking pot shots at these two. Have y'all noticed that? And why? Because both of them actually have a black agenda. So just take note to who keep going, to how the AOC keep going at Jill Stein. Now Angela Rye is jumping in the mix. Check this out. Breakfast Club had both of them on there. I don't know why. Why you have Jill Stein and Angela Rye there?
Dr. Stein, in 2002, you ran for governor of Massachusetts and you lost. In 2004, you ran for state representative in Massachusetts and you lost. In 2006, you ran for secretary of the Commonwealth. You also lost. In 2010, you ran for governor again, this time against the first Black governor in Massachusetts, Deval Patrick. You lost. In 2012, you ran against this country's first Black president, and you got just less than 0.5% of total votes cast. In 2016, you ran against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, losing significantly with 1.4 million votes cast for you, but 0 electoral college votes, which I agree with y'all needs to be abolished. But 136 million people voted, and you lost that election as well. So I want to know what the pathway to victory is for you in 2024. It can't just be.
Now, when have you heard any other presidential candidate? I haven't heard Trump or Kamala Harris asked, what about the path of victory, the pathway to victory? And that's the first question that, see, she ran down her resume of losses. That's a real low-key way of setting the table. Well, not really so low-key now, is it? But that's a way of setting the table for a certain kind of conversation to make Jill Stein look bad. And that's why they're there. That's why people call y'all shills. Angela Rye, you was up there crying, you get called Democratic shill. Because you are one, Angela, and this is why.
I'd like to provide a different. I want to provide. Can I respond, please? May I respond? Go ahead. I would.
You hear envy going off on Jill Stein's running mate? This is still a presidential candidate, but it's cool though because they're not Democrats. So you go ahead and talk to him and say, "Watch your effing mouth." You talk to a vice presidential candidate by telling him to watch his effing mouth. Why? Oh, maybe it's because he's a black man. This is a black man to black man conversation. DNC and a vice presidential candidate, Jill Stein's running mate, and Envy is telling him to watch his effing mouth. That's insane.
I'd like to respond. This is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that resistance is futile. This is about voter blaming and voter shame.
No. What you're not going to say is that I'm ever parroting anything at the hands of white supremacy. This is something that's very different. This is me asking you.
I'm sorry. I'm having a real major issue with this type of tactic. And I'm seeing it too much. And I'm seeing it in places where I really shouldn't. And this tactic is really demonstrating it because it's easy to say people get hot under the collar or about Donald Trump. Okay. This is Jill Stein. Why is the same playbook taking shape? So while she's answering her question, this is a presidential candidate, by the way. Why is Angela Rye interrupting her response to overtalk her? This is a presidential candidate. They are interviewing a presidential candidate, and now she is being met with hostility while answering something and not getting the clarification of her statement because she's interrupting her. This is madness. And like I said, I'm seeing this too often. And it's all about this support for Kamala Harris that ain't did nothing for black folks and absolutely should not be trusted. So I can understand seeing Angela Rye doing this, but I'm just saying I'm seeing the same pattern of behavior in different spaces. And it's all about supporting Kamala Harris. And I can't rock with that.
You again, it's a binary
well, I'm
choice
just
in an
pointing
election.
out that
It
these
is
are the
either a
talking
win or a
points.
loss. No, it's
These
not
are
a
the
talking
same
point.
talking points
No,
that the
I didn't get my
DNC
talking.
uses.
This is not DNC talking points. This is my research. And sadly for you, the research says you have never won an election. You have been successful in pushing forward certain agendas as
Absolutely.
an advocate, but you have
And
never won an
we
election
are
as a
the
candidate.
one
Is that a winning
party.
strategy?
So in order to win, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. In this case, it's
This is
many
1,
steps. Let
2,
me
3,
point
4,
out.
5, 6,
Let me
7
point
steps.
out, please.
Again, as she's answering, she's being interrupted by hostility. This is a bad look, and it's horrible. Here's my thing. Black content creators, interviewers, moderators, take note from how me and Black Alpha used to conduct our spaces. We did them in order, with order. Everybody could get their point off. Because here's the one thing that when you have a actual solid point, it does not require somebody to answer you and within 3 to 5 seconds of the response, you're interrupting. That is not how you conduct an interview. That is not professionalism. And it's not how you get things accomplished, especially in hostile environments. We have hosted spaces to be the moderators to bring different groups that did not get along together. This is supposed to be an unbiased playing field. Me and Black Alpha were able to host a more successful platform for what could have been a hostile environment for everybody to get their talking points on and off without being interrupted, without feeling like they were going to be cut off because they had the floor. And this is a presidential candidate. Number one, I'm not going to ask a presidential candidate, why are they running? Because every time they started, they lost. Of course, they don't have the money. And of course, so that goes without saying. But you know how you can frame that question is, okay, typically, generally speaking, third parties, they say, don't usually stand a chance. So with this particular outing, what is it that you want to get accomplished? And that could have easily been the question. But, nonetheless, no. That wasn't the route. And so, we have to be mindful when you have these people around that are doing stuff like this and understand this is not isolated. And I'm seeing a repeat performance of the exact same kind. And I would say, if you're going to be in this political space to be a trusted platform, to be a fair, because this is just one election. If you want to be a trusted journalist, you don't throw it all out the window because you don't like one particular candidate. Candidates that you don't like could come and go. That's not your job to like them or not. Your job is to get the information to the people. And if that person has a plan, that person has a policy, then at least give the people the opportunity to hear it, because the DNC has went out of their way to make sure that none of these other voices get heard. Angela Rye. So when people come to us and say, well, why aren't you running? Why don't you when are we going to get our own candidate? When are we going to, because none of you idiots will stop doing the DNC bidding. So don't come and say, well, hey, why? Because we already know better. So shout out to Jill Stein for even giving a damn. Shout out to Cornel West for giving a damn. Because I got to imagine how stressful it must be having your own folks against you for Cornel West's sake, for this party and this political position that ain't doing nothing for black folks, and watch all of your people turn their backs on you for this tan Caucasian woman that they're lying to everybody, pushing the lie that she's black. Her whole campaign push is the foundation of it is a ball of lies. She wasn't voted in by the people. And this is the administration that took people's freedoms away. And now they're up here, the ones talking about not going back to freedom, although they're saying it under the guise of freedom. But they are the ones who took people's freedoms away. People lost their income because of that loss of freedom. And it goes so unmentioned thanks to the live stream media and shills like this Angela Rye right here on The Breakfast Club. Why we call that platform, again, another America's Black Shield headquarters.
You need to compare the Green Party, not with those who are taking money from AIPAC and the War Machine and Wall Street. You've got to compare us, excuse me, you have to compare us to other grassroots, non-corporate.
She told me I'm a white supremacist.
We need.
She said I was carrying the talking points of a white supremacist. See, that was my disappointment.
May I finish,
earlier.
please?
Like
may I get to my point? May I please get to my point?
Angela Rye, close it out.
Notice how they keep interrupting her. The lack of respect for a presidential candidate just because she's not a damn Democrat. This is the reason. This is a black platform. And nobody that's going to go talk. See, here's the thing. This is a black platform, but she can't get her black platform off on the black platform because all they want to do is disparage her. I ain't rocking with nobody like that, man. No one. There ain't nothing you could tell me about Donald Trump that no, look at the way y'all carrying it. Y'all literally running around with lies in your mouth. Tan Caucasian woman on your back. And telling your own folks how stupid they are for not falling for the okie doke. We've already had Trump in office for this many years. And then, what did we say? What was Ricky Smiley saying about Amanda Seals? Man, I can't believe that she actually said that to her. You see the way they over here talking to this gray-haired white woman? And that lets you know that they really juiced up with that DNC energy too. By the way, I'm just saying. Let's hear the last few seconds.
Please. Finish, please. Thank you. You're trying to compare us to.
Now, yeah, go ahead. Let me show you something.
Finish, please.
Let me show you something.
You're trying to.
Let me show y'all this. So when she had to let her finish, this is Angela Rye's posture. Come on, man. Come on, man. And you're the interviewer. What's she mad at? See, this is why people can't be in these positions. This DNC bias crap. We are black first, not DNC first. And these folks do not speak for Black America. They most definitely don't represent me. And so I think one thing take away from this week and the aftermath for this is going to show how much of a problem these idiot DNC shills are. These people are an absolute disaster, a dumpster fire wherever they may go, and nothing but lies ringing in our ears out of their lips. Nah, freaking stop, by the way. So let me see. Oh, yep. Let me play this one little sound bite here. And we're almost about out of here. Listen to this.
But here's a fact from them. They did try to fact check him in real time, but there were numerous questions that she would not answer. And she did tell several lies and got no fact checking. So I think if you're going to lay down a marker that we're going to push back on these candidates, you got to do it to none or you got to do it to both. They asked her directly in the very first question if she thought they had any responsibility for the economic conditions or that people were better off than they were for. And she completely ignored it. They asked her on immigration. Why did you wait until 6 months before the election to do anything? And she completely ignored it. And so fact checking and Barb's aside, those are the two most important issues in the election. They asked her, she completely ignored them, and they spent all their time going after Trump and didn't follow up on any of that. I thought it was ridiculous.
He's right. He's right. And now we're finding out that that's her soror sister. And reports are saying that she got help. That ain't good. That's dishonest. That's grossly dishonest in a presidential debate. And that's why I have Donna Brazile over here looking. Of course, she's not. She's still among the living, of course. But that's why I got her the spirit of Donna Brazile over here, like, good job, youngsters. You guys did the good DNC bidding. Yeah. I mean, boy, I'm not mad at none of y'all. Good job, children.
Illegal immigration and utilizing our tax dollars and our resources to fund and support illegal immigrants. I'm not talking about people who came here with papers. I'm talking about illegal immigrants, 11 million that have crossed, 11 million and counting, that have crossed the border since Biden and Harris. I'm talking about the resources of tax dollars that have gone from American citizens to support their housing, to support getting them food. I do not believe that we as Americans, specifically Black Americans that are descendants of slavery, should have our tax dollars utilized for illegal immigrants that have come to this country without going through the proper immigration process that we have and get our money. And get funded and get $9,000+ in Chicago for rent and be able to get more money in food stamps and SNAP and TANF and all of these benefits and be able to utilize our tax dollars to get free legal service. That's happening right in Indianapolis, in my own city.
Wow.
Absolutely not. One, the first step to making America not a sovereign nation is to bust open our borders like a bag of chips. I think that that is completely wrong. Two, I think it's also completely wrong for us to basically, it feels like you're abandoning the citizens and supporting the illegal immigrants.
If you want to assess Donald Trump as a failure, his fundamental policy proposal that he ran on was to build a wall. So whenever we hear this racist, sexist foolishness from him, we should be very clear that the fundamental thing he said he would get done when he talked about Mexican rapists and all these other things was that he would build a wall. Didn't happen. The rhetoric right now around immigration.
Wrong. There is a wall being built. Not only is there a wall being built, but the wall that Kamala Harris said was stupid before, she is now promoting and saying that that is what she is now going to do and re-implement the wall. Brother, what are you saying?
That he's trying to highlight is a framing of what? That our cities are getting worse, even though everything from an economic standpoint, in terms of growth, in terms of cost of living, what's happening in your pockets have actually gotten better. We have better.
No, the hell it has not, sir. What are you saying? This economy is at all-time low right now. And job growth, no. Having more money in your pocket, with the prices of groceries, they're not even saying that you're not even hearing Kamala Harris or Joe Biden saying that. See, here's the problem with these brain dead Biden sexuals now have been moved over to the K Hive. Boy, I'm telling you, with these nuts here. They just get out here and start lying, Democrat lying. That's all they end up doing. So everything he just said wasn't true. So you're not living anything that Negro just opened his mouth and said.
For growth in our community by actually helping our immigrant brothers and sisters.
Whoa, hell to the no. See, this is how you know. Oh, let me guess. He's an immigrant. Talking about immigrant rhetoric. This immigrant rhetoric is going around. So he's not FBA.
Data, actually, to the immigration question is how are we making this a policy substantive conversation rather than the rhetoric?
Yeah. Other than the rhetoric, man, brother.
Where's your family from?
So just so you can understand, it ain't no damn rhetoric. This is what your vice president and president put in place day one, stupid.
We had a very busy and active day today, as you all know, but I wanted to take a moment to go through the 15 executive actions, or highlights of them, I should say, and some of the steps that the president asked agencies to take today. You should have all received copies of the executive orders as well as the accompanying fact sheets, but I want to take this moment to highlight them for the American public who are watching at home. He signed a proclamation effective immediately, halting further funding or construction of the previous administration's border wall and terminating the so-called national emergency used to wastefully divert billions for wall construction. Also today, President Biden sent an immigration bill to Congress. The U.S. Citizenship Act modernizes our immigration system. It provides hardworking people who've enriched our communities and lived here for decades an opportunity to earn citizenship. The president's priority reflected in the bill are to responsibly manage the border, keep families together, grow our economy, address the root causes of migration from Central America, and ensure that America can remain a refuge for those fleeing prosecution. With that, I'd love to take your questions. Zeke, why don't you kick us off?
And as far as those policies go, brother, let me help you out with why, again, we don't trust Kamala Harris.
I support. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. I support buybacks.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care, and you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on. The United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now, overtime, trying to do their jobs. And I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work.
And with that being said, family, never forget.
Good evening, Dr. Clark. I really would like you to tell me what's the best way to handle an African American that gets in the way of the liberation of African Americans. I believe in this unity, and I'd love to love all of them, embrace them. Please tell me how to do it strategically.
Put space between you. Don't try to reform him. Give him the information. Hope that he will use it. If he don't use it, then don't waste time letting him obstruct the movement. People who don't believe in themselves can't believe in you and can't help you. It's heartbreaking to know that there are some of us we have to write off so the rest of us can survive.
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Beatzilla PDX official show. This has been the weekly wrap up. And with that being said, one thing that we all do know very clearly around here is this.
How can black people rise up and overcome?
Get out and vote?
That is incorrect. I'm sorry.
There may be some of you who out here thinking that, you know, you guys over here that talk about voting for the couch, you guys talk about voting third party, vote your interest. You guys are doing damage to the Democrats and you want to blow it up. We have no obligation to the Democratic Party. That's an organization. It's a corporation, matter of fact. And they don't even have to be honest. And right now they have a policy of benign neglect toward Black America. And this has been nothing but evidently true. And until that changes, our position remains the same. And that is why you get a chance to hear from all of us in the new Black media and the grassroots. And that is why the power of the grassroots has our talking points showing up in presidential debates. If you think that we would ever pivot off of our square, well, I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official, the Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the voices of new Black media. I am sure I'm safe to say that I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed, family. Thank you again. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket and support this channel, you can do so by way of Cash App. That's $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, one thing to always remember here, hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
And with that being said, let's get this roll call cracking before we get up out of here. So let's shout out the members, shall we? So first we have Moonrise. We Are Next, aka Dark Skin Brother, as well with the main Dark Skin Brother channel, Cult-Like Personality, Afro Troop TV, Jim's Eyes View, Muff Moon, Hurricane IQ, No Bad News, Robin Ann Battle, Project Leroy, Phantom Beat, Iron Wheel, Tasha Peters, Samuel Logan, Tanya Zion, Ayo God, The Church of Black Empowerment, Antithesis, Judah Yisrael, Keith Prince, and Crew Reality, Faith Speaks Life, Lady Effa, Black Spider, and Deneen Soul. Thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon each and every one of you. Thank y'all once again for everything you do. Thank you for your support, and thank you for your watching. And replay gang, salute to you as well, Black First. Appreciate you as always. And so, that being said, you know, you see where all you can find me here on the bottom, and you see the other info on the bottom of the screen. So, hopefully you guys have a good, blessed, prosperous weekend. Stay away from the wretched and stay away from the ratchet. And keep your 3 smooth stones at the ready and your slingshot nearby, because you never know when you might need it. With that being said, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed weekend.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knocked out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.